A narcissist will betray you or anyone else in the end because they can't stop what they do. Narcissists have a distorted self-image and a deep-seated belief that they are not perfect. As a result, individuals have anxiety over projecting the wrong picture of themselves and engage in socially unacceptable behavior. The narcissist's primary motivation in nearly every scenario is to better themselves. But we can't take such behavior at face value, especially if the actor is boastful and makes outlandish claims to justify it. It's not indicative of a healthy sense of self-worth and suggests that their lives are lacking in some way. Self-loathing may be present in vulnerable narcissists. It's terrible and sad in a nutshell. There's a constant sense of inadequacy and fear of failure. It's true that even if you make $1 billion, it won't help your mental health issues. No matter how much effort they put into planning, lying, or manipulating, narcissists can always count on these three things. Narcissists suffer from severe, long-lasting depression because they cause so much suffering. Narcissists are hurt, afraid, and miserable on the inside but present a happy, confident, and wealthy exterior. They have everything life offers, yet that doesn't make their anxious feelings go away. No one, however perfect they may have seemed at the time, ends up being the person who changes the narcissist's life. The problem-causing drive of a narcissist is their fixation on attaining and keeping power, which overshadows any desire for repentance. As a result, narcissists are doomed, for lack of a better phrase. In the simplest terms possible, they have started down a path from which they will have significant difficulty turning back. This means there might be some constants in a narcissist's life. If you can wrap your head around this, you'll better understand how and why your success threatens theirs. Getting a sense of why they do things the way they do them requires research into their motivations. Realizing that they are their worst enemies can illuminate why they are doomed to a life of misery, and why they are not someone you should fear or envy. In this video, I also demonstrated the process for you. Bad fortune appears to follow narcissists around like a curse. They always bring this with them when they go out. Since it's always there, they can't handle being alone for fear of facing their issue head-on. It would appear that narcissism is a punished personality feature. The constant pursuit of self-improvement is another challenge for narcissists. Everything they buy or accomplish will never be enough to satisfy them. Actually, they can never be satisfied with anything they get. They still feel hopeless and unimportant within themselves despite this. They continue to feel like there is always more to gain and achieve. The narcissist doesn't appear to be able to see that worldly prosperity and accolades aren't enough to satisfy the emptiness inside their soul. The green gaze of envy dooms them to a constant discontentment, since they cannot be content with anything they now possess. If you constantly measure your worth against that of others, you will never be happy. Narcissists also have a hard time admitting when they're incorrect. They have nothing or no one in their lives that makes them happy. On the other side, narcissists are notorious for abusing their victims to the point where the latter actively seek to distance themselves from them. They have never been able to decide for themselves what is in their best interest. That's right, they keep piling it on. There must be both extra people and extra things. They're already bound to hell, since they'll always be in terror. Someone could stand up to them at any moment and make them pay for their lies, or their hypocrisy could be exposed. This causes narcissists to constantly worry about how they appear to others. They can't find peace because they can't seem to stop worrying and worrying about everything. The narcissist is sure that other people only care about them because of what they can get out of it, and that they are entitled to continue receiving the same treatment they have been getting. They fear being used or exposed. My narcissistic friend would often mask her inadequacy and jealousy with humorous banter. She tended to belittle people with her humor. One subset of narcissists uses humor to get narcissistic supply, make others feel comfortable around them, and hide their shortcomings. I talked about how narcissists can utilize humor in this video, but it's important to remember that this is serious business. Fear may be crushing for anyone, but it is especially crippling for narcissists because of their fixation with themselves. The concern they have is that the truth will be made public, which would result in the shame they've been fighting so hard to avoid. Simply put, initial appearances aren't always indicative of long-term performance. So long as they can keep it a secret, they won't be found out. A narcissist's defensive, insecure, manipulative, and paranoid actions arise from an excessive sense of dread. Last but not least, narcissists will constantly be let down since their expectations are unrealistically high. They are extremely selective about who they allow into their inner circle. In their arrogance, they consider themselves superior to everyone else. It's a never-ending spiral of despair for them because they'll never be able to hurt and dominate others the way their fantasies demand. They may believe they are entitled to something but never get it. Because of their overblown feeling of entitlement, narcissists are prone to frequent outbursts of anger and depression when their needs aren't met. When they don't get their way, they tantrum like spoiled children. Because they refuse to accept reality and acknowledge they have no say in the acts of others or the results of the situations in which they find themselves, narcissists are doomed to experience constant disappointment. Their obsession with controlling every detail will prove to be their undoing. Since this is the case, the narcissist's life is, to put it kindly, not a very pleasant one. Given this, narcissists become irritated when they see other people enjoying themselves. They're doomed to a lifetime of suffering, disillusionment, and tragedy. Despite the widespread belief that narcissists can be helped, no one will give it to them if they refuse treatment. The narcissist must choose to get better. Whether or if they will make a change is not in our hands. Yet narcissists want to keep up appearances, much rather play a role than be real. As a means of fitting in, they would rather put on an act of joy, enthusiasm, and love. These people are master liars because they bring suffering into the world and then project it onto others. Their inability to feel empathy for others stems from their fixation on themselves. They are irritable and easily angered because they are unhappy with their lives and perceive even minor issues as a major nuisance. They use humans as pawns in their game of dominance and control. Due to the emotional intemperance of modern society, couples often feel the need to fabricate a false sense of harmony in their relationships. The only constants in their existence are disappointment, dread, and sadness, and all they want is for everyone else to go through what they are. Always keep it in mind, even if the narcissist seems contented on the surface. When things are not as they say, you will be made to believe that they are. If someone is narcissistic, you should never, ever envy them. As always, I wish this was informative for you. If you found this to be helpful, please share it with others and give it a thumbs up. I enjoyed our time together today. If you liked this video and want to see more like it, please subscribe and turn on bell notifications. A huge thank you for your help.